Yo, yo, yo. So, if you're one of my very loyal sub-dozen subscribers, this may be a very strange video to see released. But if you're seeing this from my Twitter, or something else related to my tabletop stuff, you may know that I am writing quite a few tabletop games. Right now I have probably about 4 actively in the works. Star City, which is this pretty much completed project, heavily based around Library of Moon, yeah, another Project Moon properties, that is very cyberpunky, urban fantasy based post-apocalyptic world where SCP type creatures have started appearing. There's also Adam Dawn, which I've been working on as sort of a pet project for quite a few years, where it is this very sort of high fantasy, anime-esque, almost kind of like power fantasy-esque system with lots of mechanical restriction and modular character building, with hundred singular pages of character options and the ability to create your own techniques and weapons and powers and stuff like that, all sort of based around the philosophy that you should be able to build what you think is fun and have it also matter tactically in mechanics. The third is a game based around the setting of Runeterra, the setting of League of Legends, Arcane, Legends of Runeterra, all that shit. And it is based around a standard deck of playing cards, and I haven't really shown any of that off yet, so maybe you'll see it in a future video. But what I'm here to talk about right here, right now, is Dust the RPG, which is very close to being finished, I think, right now. It is in a very playable state, and though I haven't playtested it, and I would love to, if you are interested, you can check it out for free on my itch, and I would love to see what you think about the game itself. But it is about 2 a.m. right now, and I've just finished writing up a lot of my ideas for the lore, which, if you can read, you know is what I'm talking about here in this video. The idea of this system, mainly, is to be sort of, I guess you say, a parody off of the Dark Souls franchise and a lot of other From Software games. Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Demon's Souls, less so Sekiro, but in those games there's a very prominent theme of the death of a society, or the death of a world, to be more accurate, where some ruling class, some higher up being, it is either directly or indirectly a cause for some great collapse in both the natural and societal world around you. And as your sort of little dumbass zombie, or whatever the fuck they call it, tarnished in Elden Ring, just a British man in Bloodborne, I guess, but as these sort of very unimportant characters, often attacking and being attacked by people in the same position as you need to go and just fucking kill God, reset the world, do your own thing. And though there are a lot of interesting and nuanced ideas within those stories and the type of stories they're trying to tell, I want to focus on something very specific, both having to do with the game's mechanical difficulty and with the story. That being the idea that a lot of the times I see these zombies or the beasts in Bloodborne and all of these more humanoid enemies to be a representation of the people who give up, both due to the game's incredible mechanical difficulty and due to the depressing circumstances of the world they live in. And as a player character, you are only different in the sense that you are the player. You are motivated, you are moving forward, you can fight the bosses, get through the area, do the puzzle. Are the puzzles in Dark Souls? I don't remember. I've only played 3 in Elden Ring, pretty much. But that idea that you aren't really that special other than the fact that you are motivated And throughout those games, a lot of times, not only are you like getting through these intense situations and progressing and getting closer to this heroic end, but you're meeting a lot of other characters that are equally motivated, or maybe have strayed from that path. I know Solaire in Dark Souls 1 is a very good example of this, of a character that is just so positive in this world of just dreary darkness and fucked shit in summary. And he sort of represents this energy that you don't really see anywhere else. And in Dark Souls 3, Sigurd. Sigurd is sort of like that too, where he is willing to help, he's willing to do all these sorts of things, and a big inspiration for the system, for Dust, is the idea of, you can use this as a fucking tagline if you want to do some impromptu advertising for the game, of a game where all of these characters are able to actually work together in a full adventure. I always sort of had this feeling of like, if it wasn't for the gameplay circumstances of these games, there's so many situations where you could see these types of people like banding together and trying to face this threat as a group. Obviously there are lore implications as to why they may not work, and specifically in Dark Souls, or that those other Frost from Software games might not work, but that sort of setting really intrigued me. The idea where things are really dark and dreary, but it doesn't mean that you need to just give up. You can go on, you can fight for these things together, and you don't have to, just lone wolf your ass up there. And yeah, that'll be a good place to introduce what I've written for Dust. The basics of it are as follows. This is verbatim, the actual thing. I have a lot more things written down in detail here, but you don't need to know all of that. If you want to, again, the book's free on itch, you can check it out. But the idea of this setting in particular is that after many years of turmoil and wasting away of the natural world, there are 3 groups of sapient creatures. The mortals, who are the player characters, and other just sort of regular people that are living in this dark, dreary world. The Forsaken, these dreg-like zombies that are unable to die and are reborn, producing dust, a magical substance that can bring forward great power if used in great quantities. And finally the Ascended, who through some sort of dark ritual thousands of years ago have gained the power of gods, essentially, being able to bring anything that they wish into the world. And through one of these wishes have cursed mortals to when they are killed by an Ascended, become Forsaken. And the general goal of this game, of course, as it is a tabletop game, you can change this to be whatever you want through the setting, but the intended goal is for a group of mortals to be attracted to each other, to gather together in a quest to kill an Ascended and drink its ichor, the blood of the gods, to ascend themselves and escape from this dirty, dangerous, and truly disgusting world that they are being forced to live through, gaining a sort of peace, being able to ever live in their own personal heaven. And what your characters learn of what this heaven really means and what it would mean to get there, what they would have to sacrifice, they will be forming bonds with each other, being able to interact and go through this hardship through a series of both narrative tabletop rules and some fun tactical stamina-based combat based around the themes of Dark Souls. And that's pretty much it so far. I have a lot more things written down for mechanical rules, of course, lots of different sort of classes and aspects to build your character around, a la Homestuck almost, as well as some pre-made enemies, and maybe I'll write up some little adventures if this gets any traction. But for now, here's your little I don't know. I'll see at the end of this, but 11 minutes so far in recording of information regarding Dust. If you're interested, leave a comment, like it, maybe subscribe, or follow my Twitter for a lot more information on my tabletop projects. And of course, if you have any interest in the game, and even if you don't want to really follow the channel, again, the game is free. Be free to check it out, and you'll be able to see everything I have so far. Once this is updated, the game should also be updated to a state where we'll be able to see all the things I've been talking about. As I'm recording, the itch page is not fully updated to it. But yeah, peace.